Hi, Jenny from Raw Art Designs here. Welcome to day 10 of my 30-day painting series. Today we're painting these two cute little silhouettes of cats sitting on a timber fence, so you'll learn how to do the timber technique. And we're just doing a simple phthalo blue blended sky with a little bit of stippled cherry blossom in there. Alright, so we're going for a little bit more of a darker sky this time, and again just simple blending, going with the phthalo blue and some white. So just getting that on. Now if you wanted it to look really night sky, you could paint the canvas black. We will do some painting on black canvas a little bit later in the series. So I'm just getting some dark blue on and adding a little bit of white to my brush and blending that down. I'm going back up and coming back down because I don't want it too light. Just bringing it down a little bit lower than what I actually want it. I'm coming down about halfway. Doing it a little bit darker, so I will just go back over that. Alright, so I've got the nice blended blue sky, and then like I showed you in the previous video, we did the wood look for the flower tub. So now we're going to do it to make a fence. So we're using burnt umber this time, and I sometimes find it better to do a coat first. So I'm going to use my brush length to do roughly each panel of the fence. It doesn't matter if it's not straight. I'm just going above that little line. It's an old fenced. I'm just getting a coat on first. A bit. So then to get that nice wood panel look, you can load again and just dip into your white, and then we're just going to bring it down way too much. So if you do too much, just blend it again. So this is one way of doing it. And see, I've done way too much there. And I did flick a little bit up into that sky, so I'm just going to come back over. some of my tops are a little bit jagged, so I'm just going to bring that over again, just straighten them up a bit. So that's one way to do it, very simple. So while it's wet, another way which we'll look at later on at doing a different type of fence is putting the base coat down first and then dry brushing some shadows and highlights into the fence. So this is a basic way of doing a fence. Now my sky is nearly dry, so I'm just going to do a round moon. That's not dry enough. See, I'm impatient. I should have waited. We will come back and fix that up. So I'm going to let that dry and then I'll come back and repaint that. Alright, so our background is dry, probably dry now, so I'm going to just go back over that moon with my small brush. And I'm going to keep it very simple, although I'm going to do some contrasting, a little bit of what looks like cherry blossom, just to break up this part of the sky. Otherwise you can leave that free. So just a little bit of we did use the darker brown. I've got a lighter brown or to do a branch. So if you've got some of this dark brown, you can just use that. And I'm just doing a very simple little branch coming down. And then just getting your brush, wiping it off. I'm just going to gently tap it on the table just to open up the bristles. Grabbing a little bit of pink, and we're going to stipple. I've got pink and a little bit of white. We're just going to gently stipple some colour onto our branch. That looks like one of the blossoming trees hanging down. I might actually just put a little bit up here. Very simple. We will do some more cherry blossoms later on. So rinse the brush out and pull it back so it's nice and pointy again. And then we're going to do a very simple cat. So starting with the body first, we're going to do an oval shape. We want it to look like it's sitting on the fence. Oops, and his head is a circle. Try and get that in so it looks in proportion. And 2 little triangle ears. Now if you wanted to and you want him to look a little bit hairy, you can get the tip of your brush and just flick out some tiny little hairs. From that wet paint. That will give it a hairy look. And then we're going to do a tail. If you wanted to, you can add a little bit of reflection on there, so a bit of white. We'll just add just subtle. So while that's wet, it's going to make the grey colour. I'm actually going to add another little cat next to it. I think it needs a baby cat. The brush isn't dry. I want to make that one a little bit hairy too. So like 2 scruffy cats. And I'm just putting some, that's not quite as subtle. You can just go over that with some black. And then if you wanted to, you can, just to get that fence to stand out a bit more, just do some lines. And I'm not doing full lines, or some of them I might. And if you wanted to, you could go along and do the little nail like you have on the fence off the end of your brush. And you could also do some stars, so we could just do some tiny little dots. If you wanted to, you can then do a twinkling star or two. So just use the very end of your paintbrush and pull the paint out. That one went a little bit fat. Okay, we've got some twinkling stars. We'll take our masking tape off. I love this part. See what we've created. And there we have our 2 pussycats sitting on the fence, looking at the moon. Hope you have enjoyed this painting, and I will see you in the next one.